guys, this is Panzer Dragon, aka Luigi Dragon, and today we'll be talking about team fighting and ganking. First off, let's go off and talk about gank combo with Olaf. So the gank combo with Olaf, the first thing you should do is throw your axe at the enemy when in range. Throwing it at the farthest range as you can, making sure that it almost lands right behind them. Once you get a melee range of them, with the help from your slow, immediately use your E, as you can use it again later because Olaf's auto attacks let it go down a bit more. Once again, when you start auto attacking, activate your W and you'll have that attack speed steroid. Ghost usage should be used when you think it's time to all in for them for a kill and you crave blood. Usually use it when the lane is long enough so that you can chase down enemies. Alt usage should be used when you feel that some sort of crowd control is coming your way and you need to break it. For example, in this case, if Vi used her Q on me, I couldn't break it since it's not a stun, it's a knockout. And those are the only things you can't break out of. Same with Orianna ult and Vi's ultimate, so I use it prematurely. But in this case, I should have known that all ultimates were already used on Ziggs, but it still works out well once in melee range since you can gain 40 plus attack damage. That's basically it with... Oh yeah, one thing I had to also mention was that obviously you want to keep using your Q as you keep throwing it and giving the resets off it while picking it up, and you want to go to where your axe landed to get the resets so you can just keep throwing it. That's basically it for ganking combo with Olaf. Let's move on to what kind of ganks you should be looking for with Olaf. So let's talk about ganking situations with Olaf and what kind of situations to look for with Olaf. Olaf should look for long lanes to gank, and most of the time should have his ghost up for successful ganks. That being said, mid lane is not a prime target for successful ganks as it's a short lane, but the reason I went there was because they were overextending into our territory, so I could run into a long lane. The reason long lanes work well for Olaf is because of his Q resets when he picks up an axe, and that means he can throw more axes, and most of his damage does come from his Q since we are maxing Q. Okay, and yes, it is spammable. Like, you can get about, what, 4 axes or 5 axes in a long lane before they hit their tower. It's really spammable. Okay, so as I said, the more he throws, the more damage he does, and of course it's kind of permanent CC since it slows. Also, his ghost makes him able to chase for a long time, so if the enemy wants to get to his tower in time, so if the enemy can't get to his tower in time, then you'll be doing a lot of DPS. With all this information being said, counter ganks are prime for Olaf because the enemy puts themselves in the situation where they must overextend to kill your laner. And if you come in where the enemy is overextending, you'll have a long lane to hunt them down. Remember, in short lane situations, Olaf does not have the speed to gap close fast enough, so we tend not to look for those lanes to kill, like mid lane. But as you can see, this long lane is really nice for Olaf. I have a lot of room to chase, and that's why you want to look for these kind of situational ganks. That's really it. That's the type of ganks with Olaf you should look for. Let's move on to team fighting with Olaf. So team fighting with Olaf. Let's talk about what Olaf's role in a team fight is. He's basically a bruiser with high amounts of damage. His role in a team fight is to soak up damage while doing damage and to peel for his carries. He is not an initiator for the team fights because he doesn't provide any hard amounts of CC. So let someone else initiate and you are follow-up. Although Sivir plus Shurelias and Ghost with a long enough lane, you can say you are an initiator in some situations. Anyways, let's talk about the aspect of diving. Solely alone, Olaf will not kill anyone in the enemy's backline without some help, as Olaf's weakness is kiting. Just like you've ever heard someone mention to kite Poppy while her ult is on, and once it's off, you can win the team fight. It's sort of true, but not really for Olaf as much. People will try to kite Olaf. Sounds hard because you can't really crowd control him, and if Olaf can't get in melee range, then he won't be doing a lot of damage since true damage, auto attacks, and spammable Qs. Oh, sorry. He will be doing a lot of damage since true damage, auto attacks, and spammable Qs. Now let's talk about this situation. As you can see, Thresh lands a hook on Orianna. You can see that I realize this, and knowing this, I turn onto her because she'll be locked down for a while, and I tried to kill her. Unfortunately, I have to back out because I'm falling low on hit point and have to back out. I may have killed her if I had kept chasing, but I would have died doing so. And also, if I didn't know if her flash was up, plus she might have multiple shields coming for her, and there could be crowd control to stop me, such as her slow and Varus' E. So I retreat back to my backline in safety of not dying. That is basically this team fight layout for you. Let's talk about peeling with Olaf. Now, as I was talking about diving with Olaf, I want to talk about the peel aspect for Olaf. Olaf is a great peeler because he has true damage to take down tanky folks, and since tanky people are generally positioned in the front line, Olaf's E will come up more often since your auto attacks reduce the cooldown on your E. Secondly, your Q is very good at zoning people in the back. If the enemy's team is trying to follow up on their tank friend, you can throw the Q at the tank and behind him to hit multiple enemies and slow them, making them slower to follow up on, and may frighten them from the slow to come close. Anyways, that is basically team fighting with Olaf. Hope you guys got the aspect. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.